The guys over at Collider are exclusively reporting that the Star Wars story standalone movies in development over at Lucasfilm are currently on hold. Editor-in-Chief Steve Weintraub claims that he knows for a fact that a Kenobi movie was in development, and of course we've heard rumors about a Boba Fett movie coming from James Mangold, but it sounds like both of those have halted production so that Lucasfilm can focus more on the Rian Johnson trilogy and the series by Benioff and Weiss. I want to talk about this, but first let me say that I couldn't find any official statement from Lucasfilm, so take all of this with a grain of salt. That said, I don't think that Collider is the type of outlet that would just report on something like this without good reason, so I do tend to believe this story. On one hand, this seems like a rushed decision. It feels like a knee-jerk reaction to the poor box office performance of Solo. But on the other hand, the only real worry I have here is the Kenobi movie. I want to see that. But the Boba Fett movie, I don't really care about that one yet. And I've been saying over and over that I want Star Wars to start to explore new territory. I want them to get away from the Skywalker saga. I just want to see something new. And the Johnson trilogy and the Benioff and Weiss series are supposed to do exactly that. I'm having some mixed feelings about all this because I enjoyed Rogue One, I enjoyed Solo, and of course I think a Kenobi movie is very worthwhile, but maybe these Star Wars story movies aren't the best way to continue expanding the universe. I mean, a one-off movie about a character that no one's ever heard of could be great, but it would also be a very hard sell to a general audience. So if we focus on these new trilogies and series of movies that introduce new major events in Star Wars history, then they could be basically the backbone of the Star Wars universe, and they would feel like the must-see essential Star Wars movies that they should. And then maybe stories that would have at one point been considered for the A Star Wars Story subtitle, they could go into books or comics. And something I've said about the current canon books is that while I think a lot of them are very well written, they've been much smaller stories when compared to Star Wars Legends, because back in the Legends days, it was the books that were the backbone of the universe, but now we're back to the movies. So I think where we are best served here is if these movies are the essential stories, and then we get to kind of fill in the gaps with bigger books and bigger comics instead of smaller movies. So I think that this could be really good for the franchise in the long run. If this hiatus turns out to be permanent, I will be sad to see standalone movies go, because I always liked the idea of having trilogies go every other year, and in between we would get a little detour to another part of the galaxy. I thought that was a great way to keep things from feeling stale, and yes, I still really want that Kenobi movie. But I'm also very excited to get into new territory. Let's see these brand new stories with brand new characters and brand new events. So that's something I'm very much looking forward to. And as much as I liked Rogue One and Solo, I think I would be okay if we let the books and comics kind of tell those fill-in-the-gap stories. But that's my take on this news. I would love to hear what you guys think, so let me know in the comments. And if you want to see or read Collider's initial coverage of all of this, I have linked to both their video and article in the description. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.